thank you to Yehudit for recording and everybody else who's making recordings available. I'm totally grateful, and so is everybody else.
Does anybody need the source material?
Okay.
Zoom in a little bit.
So before we begin, I want to, as usual, I normally say the prayer of the Ari before I start learning the Zohar, and I forgot it again at home. So we'll have to do. I'll just make up one on the spot. All right. Okay. May it be your will, and God and God of our fathers, that you enable us to learn the words of your holy Torah, and we give a lot of thanks for this great merit of being able to have access to this learning of the inner meanings of the Torah, which you've bequeathed to us through our holy sages. And may no fault or my fault or any of our faults cause any distance or barrier between us and you. And may our Torah benefit all of Am Yisrael and give light to the Shekhinah.
Amen.
All right then. Now, we're going to... Where's my Tanakh? Oh, here we are. We're going to be moving on in our story, okay? Our first learning was about the nature of Abraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov and Esau. And then the second week was about the whole selling of the birthright. And now we're moving to the time when Yitzhak is old, okay? And we're going to start our learning this morning from the Chumash Bereshit in chapter 25. Sorry, no, it's chapter 27. Okay? All right. If anybody should try to remember that when you learn Zohar, always try to bring a Chumash with you. Never try to learn the Zohar without the sources available. Okay? Because it's always talking from the Tanakh, and there's an intimate connection between the Torah Shebichtav and the Torah Sheba'al Peh. The Kabbalah belongs to the Torah Sheba'al Peh. So you should always try to have that intimate connection in front of our eyes.
So where are we?
It's chapter 27, verse 1. Okay? So, Vayihi, ki zaken Yitzhak, v'tikahena einav mera'ot. Vayikra et Esav beno hagadol, v'yomer elav beni, v'yomer elav hineni. V'yomer hinena zakanti, lo yadati yom moti. Now Yitzhak was old, and his eyes were dim from seeing. And he called Esav, his eldest son, and he said to him, my son. And he said to him, here I am. I like the word hineni. Hineni is a very key word, isn't it? Like when something drastic is going to happen, you always get hineni. Vayomer. And he said, here I am old, and I do not know the day of my death. Okay? Va'ata, sana keilecha teliecha v'kashtecha v'tzeh sadeh v'tzuda litzayid. And now, lift up your weapons, your bow and your arrow, and go out into the field and hunt for me food. Now, we're not going to go into the rest of the Tanakh yet. We're going to carry on with the story in a minute. But right now, we're going to be looking in the Zohar. And what is the inner meaning of Vatikahana einav mera'ot? And his eyes were dimmed from seeing. And we have to ask a question. Why did this happen to Yitzhak? I mean, it actually opens a very big question. Why did Tzaddikim get ill? Mm-hmm. These are people who've served God with all their heart and all their might and all their soul. They can't get any closer to God possible. We learn the chapter that we're missing out, chapter 26, which deals with the wells that Yitzhak dug. We discover from the Zohar of those wells that God never left Yitzhak for a moment. He was totally one with the Shekhinah, completely. There was never a moment when Yitzhak Avinu was ever separated from the Shekhinah. So in which case, we need to ask the question, why did he go blind? Why did Tzaddikim suffer? It's an interesting question. And the Zohar goes into it.
Maybe it's a blessing.
It's either atonement for our
We're
sins.
going to go with the Zohar. We've asked the question, and we're going to let the Zohar answer. Okay? Right. So if we look on page 51. All right? And it's page 51, and it's at the top of the page here, the last paragraph on the top of the page. That's right. And we're going to start with the Aramaic, which is from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Vayihi ki zaken Yitzhak. Amar Rabbi Shimon, כתיב, ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום, ולחושך קרא לילה. היי קרא וכמוה ויתמר. אבל תחזי, כל עובדוי דקות שבו, אינון מילים דקשות. וכולו ברזה אילאה. וכל מילוי דאורייתא כולו מילי מהימנותא, ורזי נילאין כדקה יאות. Vayihi ki zaken Yitzhak. It came to pass when that Isaac got old, okay, and his eyes got dimmed from seeing. Rabbi Shimon opens his discourse and he says, Amar Rabbi Shimon, Katuv vayikra Elohim le'or yom v'lachoshech kara laila. I'm reading now in the Perush Sulam on the second column at the bottom of the page. Amar Rabbi Shimon, Katuv, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. You all know where that's from. It's Bereshit Aleph. Okay? Mikra zeh kvar bi'uruhu v'lamadnu oto. He opens his discourse by saying, and God called the day, the light day, and the darkness he called night. This scripture, we have already explained it, and we've learnt it. But come and see, אבל בוא וראה, כל מעשיו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, כולם הם דברי אמת. All the deeds of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they are all matters of truth. והכל בסוד עולם העליון הוא, and everything comes forth in the highest world. דהיינו, שכולם הם בסוד המוחין הנמשכים מבינה. That is, all of them are in the light which emanates from the Sfira of Bina, and Bina, as you know, is compassion and giving. V'kol divrei Torah, and all the words of Torah, kulam hem divrei emunah, they're all words of faith. Shu soda nukva, which is the inner meaning of the Malchut, which is also the Shekhinah. V'sodot elyonim hamirim ba karaoi, and the highest secrets are shining in it as is fitting. All right, now that's a bit cryptic. All right, we don't know why he's brought that sentence, and we don't know quite what he wants to say through it, except that everything is in the Torah is true. Tahazi. V'tahazi. לא זכה יצחק כאברהם, ולא שמו עינוי, ולא כהו, אבל רז אילאה איהו הכה, רז דמהימנותא, כמה דתמר, וכתיב, ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום, דא אברהם, דיהו נהורה דיממה, ונהורה דילי אזיל ונהיר, ופפקף בתיקונה דיומה. בואו וראה, יצחק, לא זכה כאברהם, שלא נתעברו עיניו ולא כהו, אבל סוד העליון יש כאן, סוד האמונה, כמו שלמדנו. ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום, זהו אברהם, שהוא אור היום, שהוא סוד קו ימין, ואור שלו הולך ואור ומתחזק בתיקון היום, שהוא סוד אור החסדים. ועל כן, מה כתוב? ואברהם זקן בא בימים, היינו באורות החסדים המאירים, והוא זקן, כמו שכתוב, הולך ואור עד נכון היום, ומשום זה כתוב עליו, ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום. Come and see, Yitzhak didn't merit like Abraham, whose eyes did not get blind and they did not get dim, but there is an inner meaning, a higher meaning hidden in here. It is the inner meaning of faith, as we have learnt. And God called the day, the light, day. This refers to Avraham, who is the light of day. This is the inner meaning of the right-hand line. And his light grows and strengthens and gets bigger and getting stronger in the tikkun of the day. This is the inner meaning of the light of Hasadim. And therefore, what is written? That Abraham Zaken Bar Biyamim, that Abraham was old, well in age. That is, Orot HaChasadim, in the light of loving kindness which shine. Uzaken, Kamosh Katuv, Holech V'or Ad Nachon Hayom, and his light is growing stronger until the day is dawned. And because of this, it is written, Alav, Vayikra Elohim La'or Yom. And because of this, God calls the light day. Now, in order to understand this, okay, first of all, it's one of my favorite psukim. It's from Mishlei.
Can you put a little further more?
Shining and getting lighter until the day is established. Okay? Now, we learned last week that the nature of Abraham, actually also in the first lesson, that the nature of Abraham, that Abraham belongs to the framework of holiness, that his nature is chesed, he therefore attracts to himself the light of giving, the or chasadim, which we said was the joy of giving, okay? And that joy of giving for him is as strong and as important as the revelation of the light of God. And we see this in the story when the three angels, God's appeared to Abraham. He's in the middle of this revelation of the light of God. Vayewa Elav, and he's just there. And then he sees these three people in the distance and says, "Sorry, God," and he runs off to welcome in these three people who turn out afterwards to be angels, but he had no idea of knowing that, no way of knowing that in the first place. Okay, so here for him, the light of giving. Now, the light of giving is called the Yom, okay? And the Yom refers to Avraham, all right? Now, Yitzhak is Choshech. Yitzhak is small. Is a V'tikahena einav miraot, and his eyes were dimmed from seeing, okay? Okay? And Choshech, the darkness, God created Choshech. What is Choshech? Darkness is the light of Chokhmah, okay, the awe of the revelation of the light of God. And why is it Choshech? Why is it dark? Surely the revelation of the light of God should be even more light.
Because we don't see it.
Very good. Why don't we see it? Unless it's wrapped first in the light of Chasadim, okay? So, what we have, for example, is, have you ever asked the question why the morning prayer Shacharit is called Shacharit? It comes from the word shachor, which is dark, with black. That's right. Because the light of God is present, but until we daven, okay, until we do the giving of shacharit, we can't see the light of God. So from shachor, we get shacharit. All right? So the light of God can be present in the madriga, but we can't see it. It's choshech. Because unless it's wrapped first in the light of Chasadim, which is called the middle line, when only receiving is only for the sake of giving, okay, then we can actually see it. Now, that was the tafkid of Yaakov. He's the middle line. Okay, if we remember my chart, I've left mine at home. Sorry. Can somebody lend me their chart? No, not the chart. Yeah, David, can I borrow your chart so I can give it back?
Oh.
I'll give it back, I promise. This one. Here we go. Thanks. So here we have it. I left mine at home, sorry. Avraham is chesed. Yitzhak is the light of the great vessels of receiving the purpose of creation. But they are choshech unless they are wrapped in the light of loving kindness, which is the tafkid of Yaakov. Yaakov is the middle line, and he can take from Avraham and Yitzhak, combine them together and bring them forth in the middle line. Now when that happens, the light which we receive is much less than the light which is at the level of Yitzhak, but it's light which we can receive, okay? It's much, much, much less. It's sort of stepped down, okay? Like you have a transformer, like Yaakov's the transformer in a way. Okay, so like step down, but through that wrapping of this great order Chokhmah with the light of Chasadim, then the Tachton can receive it, then the lower ones can receive it.
Why do you call it the light of Chasadim and not the light of Rachamim? Because Chasadim is Abraham, no?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, Rachamim is like the formation of the middle line. Okay,
Right,
so you've got
so that's what
so you've got Od Chasadim, which is the right hand line. Od Chochma is the left hand line, and when they're wrapped together, you get Rachamim. Okay, very good. All right. Choshech kara laila. Where are we? Right. ובגין כך, מה כתיב? Oh, right. Okay, so I see that the way they paragraphed it in the Aramaic and the way they paragraphed it in the Hebrew is not quite, the Perush HaSulam down below is not quite the same. So, ובגין כך מה כתיב, אברהם זקן בא בימין, וינון נהון בנחרים, ויוסיף כמו שכתוב, הולך ואור עד נהון היום. ובגין כך ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום ולחושך קרא הלילה. דע יצחק, ויהיו חושך, ויהיו עזה לקבלה ליליה בגבי. ובגין כך יהיו כדסיב, מה כתיב, ויהי כי זקן יצחק, ותכהנה עיניו מראות, הכי הוא ודאי, דבר להתחשכה, לדבקה בדרגי כדקאי אות. ולחושך קרא הלילה. זהו יצחק, שהוא חושך והולך ונחשך. Okay? This is Yitzhak, who goes and gets darker and darker. Why? כדי לקבל הלילה בתוכו. In order to receive the night within him. Because he needs to be connected with his own essence. Alright? ועל כן, כשנעשה זקן מה כתוב? ויהי כי זקן יצחק ותכהנה עיניו מראות. So as he got older, what is written? That as Yitzhak got old, his eyes became dimmed from seeing. כי נחשך לגמרי. He became completely dark. He became completely blind. כן הוא ודאי, that is certainly the case, שהוא צריך להיות נחשך לגמרי, ולדבק במדרגתו כראוי, because he needs to be completely dark in order to be connected with his own level of spirituality as is fitting. You had a question?
But I don't understand how darkness can be chokhmah. Meaning, how could his level of what is dark about his level of spirituality? Meaning,
it's not dark. It's not dark from God's perspective. It's only dark because the tachton, that's us. Okay, we are forbidden to receive light unless we first do acts of giving. Okay? Now, if the light is present, but there's no giving happening, then we don't see it. We see it as dark. Okay? We don't. It's there, but we don't see it.
But how could we say that Yitzhak doesn't give? Because, in fact, how could... I don't understand that. I mean, how could he be an epitome? Why would he be such a great Av if he epitomized not giving? Darkness?
He doesn't epitomize it. It's a good question. Just hang on with the question. All right, it's a very good question. But he needs to bring in this great light. Why? Because these great vessels that he's bringing in, he's attracting the great light, is in order that he can bring the blessings which are for the Gemara Tikkun. And this, we can't see this great light of Gemara Tikkun yet because we're not ready yet. Okay, when we're ready, and those vessels are Metukan, what was Choshech will then become Or. Okay, because we'll be able to see it. But we're not corrected yet. But nevertheless, he had a role to do. What was his role? His role was to bring these great vessels of the Gemara Tikkun and to give the blessings. So therefore, he needed to connect with that light first in order to do you see what I'm saying?
I do see all that, but I guess I don't really understand what the essence of darkness is. Meaning, why is darkness Chokhmah and why is it dark? But maybe you'll get to
The
that.
order Chokhmah is not dark. From God's perspective, the order Chokhmah is the most brilliant, incredible light that that we can imagine. But if we were to receive it just the way it is, we'd have Shvirat HaKelim all over again. We'd have the breaking of the vessels all over again. Okay, because so we have to do giving first. All right, and Kvodom Alei Olam. The truth is that God's light, God's order Chokhmah is surrounding us all the time. Why can't we see it? For us it's dark. We say God's concealed. Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Look what sorrows we see on the television. Look what sorrows we see in our next door neighbours. And mamash real sorrows. Because it seems to us dark. But that's from our perspective. Okay? And the whole of the Zohar is written from the perspective of the souls. Not from the perspective of God.
So Yitzhak can perceive what's dark, but why?
For us, well, wait a minute, why? Okay, so we'll find out why. It's a good question. Okay, very good. We always have to ask our questions and then flow with the Zohar and let the Zohar answer us. But it's very good to ask the questions. Why? Because the question is the vessel to which the answer is the light. And if we don't have the questions, then we can read it and not take anything in. So it's an excellent question. And I always tell people, remember your questions. Okay? The questions are probably more important than the answers anyhow. The questions are things we work with in our day. Okay? The answers, we remember them, they go in one ear and out the other. But if we have a question first, it means something to us. Okay, so it's a very good question. Perush. Yom hu sod zerampin, v'layla hu sod hanukva. ומשורשם נבחן זרמפין שכולו מקו ימין, והנוקבה נבחנת כולו מקו שמאל. Okay. Now, don't panic about the technical words of the Zohar language, all right? Of the Kabbalah language. That's what I'm here for. It's only a language. It doesn't, all it needs is translating into ordinary speech. Explanation. The day is the inner meaning of the Sfirah of Tiferet. Zerampin is the same as Tiferet. And it's also the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And Laila is the inner meaning of the Nukva, which is the Malchut or the Shekhinah. And their root. And from their root, we find that Zerampin is entirely made up of the light of giving. Again, it's language. The Yamin is giving. The right-hand line is giving. And the Nukva, which is the vessels of receiving, is designated as coming from the left-hand line, which is the code for the vessels of receiving. So here we have that the day signifies the vessels of giving, Avraham, and the night signifies the vessels of receiving, which is represented in our story by Yitzhak. Now, V'noda. And we know that the left-hand line, which is the vessels of receiving, which is the inner meaning of the Or de Chochmah, the light of Chochmah, Beli Chasadim, without it being wrapped with the light of giving, first, cannot shine. It cannot shine for us. It's shining up there in its own madrigah, it's fine up there. But for us, it can't shine. Okay? It cannot shine without being included from the Chasadim, without being wrapped up first in the light of Chasadim. And therefore, Nivchan az lachoshech. And therefore, it's considered then as darkness. Gam nitbe'eh la'ayil, shekav smol hu b'machloket im kav yamin. We've also learnt previously that the left-hand line is always in an argument with the right-hand line. Okay? They know what said b'shum panim likalel michasadim, and doesn't want to be connected with the Chasadim. Okay, this is the story of Jacob and Esau, bang bang, Cain and Abel. All right, the two scriptural references, Shnei ketuvim hamachishim zeh et zeh, ad sheyavo hashlishi v'yachveh beinehem, which is say in the morning davening, the two scriptures which contradict each other and can't make peace until the third one comes and makes peace between them. It's the same thing, okay? Ad sheba kaven tz'i, until the middle line comes, which is Komat HaChasadim Hayotzeit Al Masach Techirik Amama'et Lekav Smol. Until the Komat HaChasadim is the giving, okay, which comes from below. What's below? The chirik is the dot, which is below all the letters. So that means the us, okay, us lot on this planet, on this plane, okay, who do good deeds, do loving kindnesses, attract the light of loving kindness, and that helps deal with this great machloket which is happening somewhere up there in the higher worlds between the right hand line and the left hand line, and every good deed we can do helps unite them. Okay? All right?
Isn't a good deed chesed? That's also chesed, good deeds.
Sorry?
Aren't good deeds also chesed?
Absolutely, it's all the chasadim. They bring the light of chasadim. Exactly, the same word. So good deeds bring the light of chasadim. That's exactly right. And they join these two lines together. Yes, you're right. I mean, the middle line is actually closer to the right-hand line than to the left-hand line. It's not an arithmetical mean. All right, you haven't got the right hand line and the left hand line and something in the middle like you have in maths. Okay, the middle line is actually very close to the right hand line. Okay, it's the order Hasidim. The difference is that the when we do our giving, we don't usually get any feedback. Unconditional giving means literally unconditional. So we don't get any, oh wow, if we do, you'd be a little suspicious. So, we do it. And sometimes it feels as dry as toast, dry toast that we're doing it. But we do it anyhow, okay, and hope for the best. And that's the giving, that's the unconditional giving. So it hasn't got quite the same feel as the Od Chasadim, where Avraham, has really got the joy of giving. We're not at that level. But still, every good deed we do, that was quite right, it is chesed, and it adds to the order chasadim. And the middle line, which comes from below, from us, okay, helps unite these two great media up there in the higher worlds. Okay, so every time we do a good deed, we're joining this, and we're ending this mahloket, and we're bringing the light down to us. Okay, v'azu machriya beinehim. And then the light of Chokhmah is able to be clothed with the Chasadim, and then it can shine holy. And then the Zerampin is not only the right hand line, but it's the right hand line with that little bit from the left hand line, which makes it complete. And the Nukva, the Malchut, the Shekhinah, is made up of the left hand line, but it's got involved, but it's got the right hand line together with it. And they join up with each other and make one. Besora Katuv, in the inner meaning of the scripture, Vahi Erev, Vahi Voker, Yom Echad. And there was evening and it was morning one day. Okay? I think this is beautiful.
It is.
זה שכתוב, ולחושך קרא לילה, and to darkness he called night. Da Yitzhak, he choshech. This refers to Yitzhak, who is choshech. Now, you ask such an important question. Why? Ki yoto b'chinat kaf small. His vessels come from the vessels of receiving. It was important that we had the vessels of receiving, because ultimately, although they'd seem dark, what are they for if they're dark? They're for because those are the vessels with which we can receive the original light of creation. All right? We can't do it until the Gemara Tikkun. Okay? Until everything is Metukan. All right? Now he has these huge vessels. Okay? Shusod Chochmah B'li Chasadim. These are the original vessels. They're Chochmah, the light of Chochmah, without this wrapping of Chasadim. Hu nivchan lachoshech. And therefore, those vessels in their essence are designated as dark. Doesn't mean to say he used them like that, but he had them within him. Okay? Good. Because the Chochmah cannot shine without it being included with the Chasadim. And therefore, he goes, wait a minute, Ve'ihu Azil. And so he needs to receive him that until he's like the night is within him. And he goes and he gets darker and darker until he completely receives all these vessels within him. And then he can rectify them in the level in the madriga, which is called night. Okay, and night is the left hand line with a little bit of the right hand line. Okay, which is then fit to unite with the Zerampin Shu Yom. Okay, then you have the Erev Vayivoker Yom Echad, they can unite together. And he had to become completely dark in order to connect completely with his madriga as is fitting. Okay. Because until he was completely dark, until he was completely connected with these vessels, the left hand line from its nature doesn't want to join with the right hand line, which is chasadim. ועל כן הולך ונחשך, and therefore it gets darker and darker, עד שנחשך לגמרי לעת זקנתו, until he became completely dark at his, in his old age. כי אז מתדבק בחסדים ומקבל שלמותו ויכול להאיר. Because then he can be connected with the chasadim and receive his complete perfection and can shine. Okay. Now, your question is, I agree with you, it does seem odd to say this about Yitzhak, because the piece that we missed out in the Zohar is this incredible piece that's all about the Be'er, about the wells. And we know from that piece that the Shekhinah never left Yitzhak. He was totally connected with God and nevertheless he was given this role of dealing with these huge vessels of receiving. Okay?
Even when Avodah Zarah came into his own house, didn't Esav's wives and they came and something that happened? That they brought the Avodah Zarah to Yitzhak and...
That's something else completely. We're just sticking with the Zohar.
That didn't affect his...
No, it was great tzaddik. Huge tzaddik. Okay? Excellent. Right. Maybe this next one, I wasn't going to do the next one, but I think we'll do it because maybe that'll help answer. Atari bi Elazar berei unashik yadoi. Amala Shapir. Avram Nahir misitra de darga delay. Yitzhak et chashach misitra de darga delay. Yaakov amai dichtiv einei sol kavdu mizoken. Amale hachi hu vadai kavdu kativ velo kahu mizoken kativ velo mizikno. Ela mizoken. Mizoken de Yitzhak. מהוא סטרה כבדו, לא יוכל לראות, להסתכל על כדקה הזה, אבל לא כהו. אבל יצחק, כהו ודאי מכל וכל. יתאבד חושך, והקדם יתאחד בלילה, יתקיים לחושך קרא הלילה. עתה רבי אלעזר. בא רבי אלעזר בנו ונשק ידיו. רבי אלעזר...
Can you tell us where you are exactly, where you're reading?
Yeah, sorry, Kuf Kaf Aleph. Next one down.
You want this?
I just read Kuf Kaf Aleph in the Aramaic, so Kuf Kaf Aleph in the Hebrew. Yeah, if I forget something, just yell out. It's perfectly okay. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Elazar, his son, came and kissed his hands. Amalo, he said to him, Yafehu, Avraham me'ir mitzad hamadriga shelo. Avraham is shining from his madriga. Yitzhak nechshach mitzad hamadriga shelo. Yitzhak got dark from his madriga. Aval Yaakov, lama nechshach? But Yaakov, why did he get dark? Shkatuv einei sol kavdu mizoken. When it comes to Yaakov's turn, it also says that his eyes got heavy from old age. Amalo, Rabbi Shimon says to him, Vadai kenhu, yes, that's certainly the case. Kamo she'amati, sharei kavdu katuv v'lo kahu. In other words, they got heavy. Like maybe got cataract or something, you know? Okay, but they didn't get completely blind. He didn't get completely blind. Kamo b'Yitzhak. Mizoken katuv, from zoken. What does zoken mean? Lo mizikno, not from his old age, elo mizoken. Perusho mizakan shel mizoken shel Yitzhak. Zakan in can also mean my old man. Okay, from his father, from Yitzhak. Why? Yoto kalol hen me Avam v'hen me Yitzhak, because he was made up of the spiritual madrigot, both of Avraham and from Yitzhak. V'lachain me'otot tzad shel Yitzhak kavdu enough. So because he had the side of Yitzhak also within him, his eyes got heavy. Lo yuchal lirot. Hainu lo lirot karaoi. He couldn't see as well. Couldn't see properly. Aval lo kahu einav legamri. But his eyes were not completely he didn't lift all his sight completely. Aval Yitzhak v'day shekahu einav mekol v'chol v'naseh choshech. But regarding Yitzhak, his eyes were completely dark and he became completely in the darkness. Ki az nechaz bo laila. Because then he could make the tikkun, which was the laila, shua nukva, v'nitkayem v'lachoshech kara laila, and be fulfilled within him, and the darkness be called night. Shnit ze la'al b'dibor samuch ayin sham. Okay?
We don't don't have
We're
that.
missing that.
Yeah,
We
that
missed
part is
that page.
missing.
There,
We're missing from there.
53 we're missing.
I see. I'm so sorry, everybody. I apologise.
I'm like looking
On the
where-
other hand,
where
I
are
was
we?
trying to save printing, so I obviously missed out a page, which I didn't think I was going to
No,
to
that's
learn.
missing.
That's why you missed it. You were not going
Oh,
to
no,
learn.
but since there was such an important question that was asked here, and I felt that, maybe the Zohar here helps a bit to understand a little bit how it all fits together. So, one's got to flow with what's happening. Okay, very good. Now then, yes, that's true. That's true. I did forget to print that page. Yes.
Could I say, like, if I were to make a mashal, would it be like the Aram is this overflowing hesed and love, and Yitzhak is like this boundaries that create, and the more you go into the Torah, you learn the Torah, and you err in the Torah, is you have to keep learning about boundaries, which is burim. That's the Torah, is boundaries. About all this life that we were given, and how to live the life, and how to have boundaries in the world, and the chesed is like the love, and then Yaakov is that synthesis of putting boundaries in the world and having to take all these boundaries that he learned in the Torah and to actualize it in the chesed of the world, the chesed of dealing with yom is chesed.
And that's called shalom.
Shalom. But then, so you say, but that's why Yaakov had to have a little bit of problems with his eyes, because he wasn't all chesed. He was the chesed when it has the knowledge of the boundaries, and that's living in the world and putting boundaries.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the whole purpose of learning the Zohar is to actually discover through these very, how do I say, root processes. Okay, the Zohar is teaching us these root processes so that we can take them into our own lives afterwards. And our own lives, of course, we're dealing with different branches of how these work. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Nun Dalet, that's page 54. We're going to go on to the next piece of Zohar, okay, which is called when he calls to Esav, all right, and he says, where are you? Sorry, what?
Nun Daled.
No, which passage?
Zohar.
Yeah. And he says, he calls to Esav, his son, his biggest son, he says to him, my son, and he says, Hineni, here I am. And he said, Hinena zakanti velo yadati yom moti. I've got old and I don't know the day of my death. And this is the next article in the Zohar. Okay, so we're going to be looking at that one now.
Which one?
So it starts on page 54. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? Yeah, that's the bit we should have.
You have it?
Nun Daled, yeah. Now, I didn't want to waste printing because it will cost a fortune. So, we're not going to be starting this. The first piece of this article is something, something else. So, we're going to be looking first at Yaakov. So, what's happened is Yitzhak's called to Esav. All right. So now we have to discover what's going to happen to Yaakov. So first we're going to talk about Yaakov here. So it's page 54 and it's paragraph 126. That's Kuf Kaf Vav. Okay. Yeah. Tachazi. Yaakov. Kol ovadai havu lishma de Kutsh Baruch Hu. V'gin kach Kutsh Baruch Hu hava imei tadir. Delo a'adei minei shechinta d'ha b'shata deka leYitzhak le'esav berei. Yaakov lo hava teman. U'shechinta odat la leRivkah. V'Rivkah odat la leYaakov. Bo'u ra'ei, come and see. Yaakov kol ma'asav hayu l'shem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All his deeds were for the name of God, for the sake of God. And because of this, the Holy Blessed One was with him always. The Shekhinah never left him. Because when Yitzhak called to Esav, his son, Jacob wasn't there. So the Shekhinah told Rivkah, and Rivkah told Yaakov. So the question is really, why did the Shekhinah tell Rivkah? If Yaakov was the one who was meant to get the blessings, why didn't the Shekhinah just tell Yaakov? All right?
Because he had to have his mommy involved.
No, not exactly. It was because Rivkah, as the Nevi'ah, she was the one who got the prophecy. All right? And she's very deeply involved with the fulfillment of the prophecy. All right? As we're going to find out, why did Rivkah have to be involved? Okay? So, I mean, if the Shekhinah just informed Yaakov, the Shekhinah never left Yaakov. So why didn't the Shekhinah just tell Yaakov? Because Rivkah's got a huge tough kid to play. Okay, so we're going to look here and see what Yitzhak told Esav and what Rivkah does. Now, first of all, to see the actions, we're going again to the Tanakh. Okay? But I'm reading from verse 3. ואתה, שא כליך תליך וקשתך, וצא השדה וצודה לי ציד. ועשה לי מטעמים כאשר אהבתי, והביאה לי ואוכלה, ובוא תברכך נפשי בטרם אמות. ורבקה שומעת בדבר יצחק אל עשיו בנו, וילך עשיו השדה לצוד ציד להביא. ורבקה אמרה אל יעקב בנה, לאמור, הנה שמעתי את אביך מדבר אל עשיו אחיך לאמור, הביאה לי ציד ועשה לי מטעמים, ואוכלה, ואברכך לפני השם לפני מותי. ואתה בני, שמע בקולי, לאשר אני מצווה אותך. לך נא אל הצאן וקח לי משם 2 גדיי עזים טובים, ועשה אותם מטעמים לאביך כאשר אהב. והבאת לאביך ואכל, ואבוא שיברכך לפני מותו. Up to there. And he said, here I got old and I don't know the day of my death, and now take up your vessels, your bow and your arrow, and go to the field and hunt for me hunting, and make me something tasty that I like, and bring it to me, the food, so that my soul will bless you before I die. And Rivkah hears Yitzhak talking to Esav, her son, and Esav goes to the field to hunt the hunting to bring. And Rivkah said to Yaakov, her son, saying, listen, I've heard your father speaking to Esav, your brother, saying, bring me hunting and make me something tasty, so I will eat it and I will bless you before the Lord before I die. And now, my son, listen to my voice, to what I am commanding you. Go now to the flock and take from there 2 good kid he-goats, and I will make of them tasty food for your father, just as he likes. And you will bring them to your father, and he will eat, so that he will bless you before he dies. Okay? So there's something very special in what Rivkah is involved here. Alright, it's not stum. Rabbi Yossi Omer, Ta'achazi. Okay, so I'm Kuf Kaf Chayin, last line on the Aramaic on page 54. Rabbi Yossi Amar, Ta'achazi, I chas v'shalom b'hu zimna yitbarach Esav, lo yishlot Yaakov le'olamim, אלא מאם קודש בריך הוא הווה, וכולו באתרי עתה כדקה חזי. תחזי ורבקה אוהבת את יעקב כתיב, והאיתמה, ובגין כך שדרת בגיני דיעקב, והנה שמעתי את אביך מדבר אל עשיו אחיך לאמור. רבי יוסי אומר, come and see, אם חס ושלום היה עשיו מתברך באותו זמן, לא היה שולט עוד יעקב לעולם, והיה נשאר חס ושלום תמיד בגלות. אלא אם הקדוש ברוך היה שיתברך יעקב, והכל על מקומו בא כראוי. בואו ראה, ורבקה אוהבת את יעקב כתוב, הוא נתבעה, ועל כן שלחה אחר יעקב אמרה לו, הנה שמעתי וגומר. Rabbi Yossi said, come and see, if God forbid Esau was being blessed, would have been blessed at that time, Yaakov would never have governed, the way of Yaakov would never have governed at all, ever. And he would have always remained in exile. But this came from the God blessed, it came from the Holy Blessed One, that Yaakov should be blessed. And everything comes to its proper place as is fitting. Come and see. Rivkah loves Yaakov. Like she has affinity with Yaakov. She has the same vessels as Yaakov, as we talked about in our first lesson. And therefore she sent for Yaakov and told him, listen, I've heard your father speaking, etc., to Esav, your brother. Kuf Kafchet. This is also Rabbi Yossi saying, V'ata b'ni shema b'koli. And now my son, listen. Behu zimna erev Pesach hava. Uvai yetz hara litbara ulshota amisi hara. Waza b'nei manuta. V'ada avdat trei tavshilin. And now my son, listen to my voice. Oto zman erev Pesach haya. V'yetz hara haya tzrich litba'er min ha'olam. והלבנה הייתה צריכה לשלוט, שיסוד האמונה, דהיינו הנוקבה, וכן עשתה שתי תבשילין. Now, this, Rabbi Yossi says, this time this happened was Erev Pesach, and the Yetzirah needs to be burned from the world, destroyed from the world. So it's Biur Chametz. We do Biur Chametz on Erev Pesach. Okay? והלבנה הייתה צריכה לשלוט, and the Shekhinah needs to be ruling. שהוא סוד האמונה, which is the inner meaning of faith. דהיינו נוקבה. And therefore Rivkah made 2 he-goats. Why does an old man need to eat 2 he-goats? 1 is enough. Yeah? So, but she took 2. Why 2?
We do.
It's for the one was the Zohar is going to tell us one is for the Korban Pesach, and one is for the Korban Hagigah. Okay?
What's Hagigah?
What?
What's Hagigah?
So it's an offering they are offered up on Pesach.
Festival offering.
Kuf Kaftet. However, Rabbi Yehuda disagrees a little bit, as we're going to find out. No, I don't know who it was. No, it was earlier than that.
Okay.
One of the Chaverim of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, I don't know who it was. Rabbi Yehuda Amar, מרמז כאן, שבניו של יעקב עתידים להקריב ביום הכיפורים שני שעירים, אחד לשם ואחד לעזאזל, וכן הקריבה רבקה 2 גדיי עזים, אחד בשביל המדרגה של מעלה, ואחד בשביל להכניע מדרגת עשיו, שלא ישלוט על יעקב. ועל כן היו 2 גדיי עזים, ומשניהם טעם יצחק ואכל. Rabbi Yehuda says, the 2 he-goats are hinting here that the children of Yaakov in the future will offer up on Yom Kippur 2 he-goats, one for God and one for Azazel. And therefore Rivkah offers up 2 gdiei izim, one for the madriga of above, and one in order to subdue the madriga of Esav, that he should not rule over Yaakov. And therefore there were 2 he-goats, kid goats, and from them Yitzhak tasted from both of them, and he ate. Perush, explanation. כשלמות המוחין הם התקללות הימין והשמאל על ידי קו האמצעי. For the perfection of this level of light, like to bring this wholeness of light, we need both the right-hand line and the left-hand line to come through the middle line. Right? Because one on their own is not sufficient. We looked at this earlier. שאז החסדים שבימין כלולים מהארת החומה שבשמאל. Because then the loving kindness on the right-hand line is included with the illumination of the chokhmah on the left-hand line, and the illumination of the chokhmah on the left-hand line is included with the chasadim on the right-hand line. Okay? And this is the inner meaning of the 2 tafshilin. Okay, the two cooking dishes, chokhmah and chasadim. Okay, and the difference between the 2 on the right and the 2 on the left is enormous. For when they're on the right-hand line, right, like Pesach, we find that they are both in kedusha, and this is the inner meaning of Pesach and Hagigah, which are offered up on Pesach. They both belong to the right-hand line. Okay. שאפילו הארת השמאל שהוא סוד פסח הוא גם כן בקדושה. Even the illumination of the left-hand line, which is ופסח השם על בתי ישראל, okay, על בתי המצרים. The Mitzrim here are the old are these vessels which we're not allowed to use. Okay, the Bechorim. Shayna asked the other day, were the Bechorim, related? Yes, it is related. Okay, and we're not allowed to use them, so they jumped over. But it's all in Kedusha. It's all brought into Kedusha on Pesach. Okay. But on the left-hand line, only the Chasadim should be yamin on Kedusha. But the illumination of the left-hand side is given to the Sitra Achra. Okay, which is what happens on Yom Kippur. And this way we subdue the Sitra Achra. And this is the inner meaning of the two he-goats, the Chatat and the Azazel, which are on Yom Kippur. Shiraka Chasadim should be yamin, Shusod Seir, Chatat is in Tusha. Only the right one on the right-hand line, which is the Hasadim, which is the Seir, which we give in to Hashem, is in Kedusha. Ba'at is small, but the illumination of the left-hand line is not in Kedusha, and we send it away to the Seir Azazel, out of the Beit HaMikdash into the wilderness. Okay, and we talked a lot about this when we talked about in the stew business. That why did he make the lentil stew? Okay, it's the same thing to give to Esav something l'haugia. We give the Seir Azazel l'haugia to calm the left hand side down, but we can't say it's in Kedusha. Just as Esav wasn't in Kedusha, okay, even though he ate the lentil stew, the Seir Azazel is not in Kedusha either. We send it away. Okay. V'zeu hapelugata shel Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yehuda. And this was the argument which is between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yehuda. And this is the bit I wanted to bring at the end. We've got 5 minutes, so this is a miracle. Rabbi Yossi Amar, שאלו שני גדיי עזים שעשתה רבקה, הם היו בבחינות שני תבשילים ימין ושמאל שבקו ימין, וזה שכתוב בה הוא זימנה ערב פסח אהבה, שאז מתקנים את שני התבשילים ימין ושמאל, שני בקדושה, אחד, ובא יצרה לדברה מעולם, שהוא בכוח הערת החוכמה שבשמאל, שכנגד קורבן פסח, כי הערת החוכמה מחלה משפיט הסטרה אך מן העולם. Okay, so I'm reading here on the very last paragraph on page 55, and here we have the argument, the discussion between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi said this all took place on Erev Pesach, and these two tafshilim are for the Korban Pesach and the Korban Hagigah, and in this way we're dealing with the right hand side and the left hand side, but they're not so strong. Okay, they're not so strong. Both of them are in Kedusha. And Rabbi Yehuda says, no, I don't agree. These two kid goats were for the two korbanot on Yom Kippur. One is for the korban chatat, the chatat which we give to God, and the other one's the Seir Azazel. And we go to, and the other one gets sent away. Now, you can ask, why are they having a discussion at all? Why isn't it clear to them which one is which? And there is a problem. The problem is that that Yitzhak ate from both of them. And he wasn't sent away into the wilderness. Mm-hmm. How did he eat from the one which is equivalent to the Seir Azazel? And now we see the Gedulah of Yitzhak. Now we see that he reached a level of Kedusha, of Gedulah, that nobody else has ever reached, and nobody else can reach until the Gemara Tikkun. Because only he, Shenechshach legamrei, that he'd taken into himself these huge vessels of receiving, was able to eat from this vessels, get the light from this choshech. Only he was able to do it. Bnei Yisrael, we have to send those vessels to the Seir Azazel. We have to let them go. We can't do this tikkun. It's what's called the leva even. It's the bit which we cannot do. And this is why v'tikena einav miraot. His eyes got completely dark. He took into himself this huge v'ta'am mizeh. And he ate from this. It tells you the great kedusha of Yitzhak Avinu. What a tzaddik nistar he was. What a huge tzaddik. he did really embody the kelim of the Gemara Tikkun. He really did embody the kelim of the Gemara Tikkun. Now, I tend to go with the Perush of Rabbi Yehuda. That's the one I prefer. It fits with me, with my understandings, and it gives me a huge sense of the greatness of Rabbi Yehuda. I understand also the problem that Rabbi Yossi has, that where he basically maintains that nobody can reach this huge level. Only God Himself can do this tikkun. So this is the plugata. This is the discussion between Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yehuda. You go with whichever one your heart is inclined to.
How does Rabbi Yossi answer the question that Yitzhak ate from both?
Well, how does he answer it? Because if he says it's on Erev Pesach and it's related to the Korbanot of Pesach, well, both the Pesach and the Hagigah were in Kedusha. Okay? The question really is more problematic with Rabbi Yehuda's idea. How did he eat from the Korban that we actually is so strong that we send it off to Se'il Azazel? Yeah, somebody's asking a question.